You know, one thing we get asked all the time is, how did you end up in Dunoon? It's kind of a random place, and yeah, I didn't even actually know where Dunoon was until the first time we came here, although that isn't the first time you might think it was. My auntie lives in Dunoon, and she's been here for 2 years longer than me, so probably about 4.5 years now. And the first time I came to Dunoon was to visit her. I remember arriving in this little village, because I don't think it's a town. I should probably Google that. And it seemed back then, 4.5 years ago, like quite a down and out, run down place. I have to be honest. Walking through the town, past the old Queen's Hall, it was a wreck, loads of weeds growing, and it felt like a place that had lost its pride. Fast forward 4.5 years again, and Dunoon, since we've been here and before, has slowly been bouncing back, and that's a really cool thing to see. Lots of new businesses coming into the town, lots of people investing in the area, whether they're from down south like me or from more local origins. But Dunoon's got a lot to offer. The natural surroundings here are just absolutely insanely beautiful. Anyway, I waffle, I digress. So let's go back to 2015, 16, 17, 2017. Let's go back to 2017. I'm working for my friend Will, down in Brighton, and I'm on just, you know, when you get online and you're just on a random website and you don't know what you're doing there, and I ended up on Auction House Scotland, and I'm scrolling through all these listings. 6 months beforehand, I'd dreamed about moving to Scotland and been looking for jobs up here, whether I could run a hotel for someone else or do something else within the industry. And there I am on the couch, and what was the West End Hotel, which is now Puck's Rest, pops up for sale. And I look at the price and I'm like, it's 14 bedrooms, it's a beer garden, it's on the beach. And I swear it's missing a digit. Like, the price was so low. In terms of what we could have bought down south for the same sort of money, it would have been a studio flat, maybe a beach house. It was crazy cheap. £169,000. And that, although will seem ridiculously low to a lot of you down south, there are more and more people moving to places like Dunoon because it is so much more affordable. And that is a positive catch-22 because it means more investment is coming into the area with people that are buying, and it also means they get a better way of life, a better way to live. You know, you get so much space up here, which is also so important, I think, for just, you know, for well-being, for feeling good about yourself and your mental health. Certainly for me, that's something I keep an eye on, and one thing about being up here is it means that I can deal with my stress a lot better. Anyway, again, I digress, but we're on that sofa, we're looking at the price, and I show Will and I'm like, this is missing a digit, right? This should be like 1.6 million. I mean, I've lived in Brighton, Bournemouth, Cambridge, and that would have been cheap for a building this size, especially a beachfront property. So I call my mum, and we have a chat. We've always talked about doing some sort of family business, and she's like, just go have a look. So 2 days later, I jump in the car, drive up to Scotland in my Land Rover, which is one of the most noisy vehicles in the world. It is never a trip you want to do in a car that big. It's basically a tractor. And I remember getting to the alleyway that leads to the hotel. Really, really random entrance. For a lot of you that have visited me, I've been sitting here having my coffee and watched you going along that beachfront many a time, because that's, our postcode is the beach. How good is that? And I'm driving down this alleyway, and it just opens up to this car park that looks straight onto the water, and I'm like, oh my god, I must have got the wrong address. This cannot be where the hotel is. And there's a row of 5 hotels, all very different, and the West End Hotel, aka Puck's Rest, is the last one. And I pull up in the car park, and it is this beautiful old lady. It's this beautiful old Victorian mansion. It's over 4 stories. It's got these big beautiful windows. It's got this amazing looking roof that is the bane of my life. I mean, I sit here during thunderstorms and worry about that roof getting blown off. Something I need to fix soon, actually. Yeah, that really marked the start of this journey. Me and Nero, got to the property and had a look around, and it was down on its knees. It was a place that had been neglected for a lot of years, and that was the reason why it was as cheap as it was. And that was the start of the journey. That was the start of another random path in my life, because any of you that have followed me over the last 5 or 6 years have seen that I don't do things normally a lot of the time. But I wouldn't change it for the world, and it's been such an amazing experience for the last 2.5 years to do what we've done so far. We've come so far, but we've still got so much to do. But I just wanted to kind of give you a little inside knowledge into how that started. You know, the building was on an auction site, and we actually put down the deposit without even having a mortgage in place. We were just like, oh my god, this is just too good an opportunity to miss. So we put down this 10%, knowing full well that we could lose that if we didn't find the money that we needed within 4 weeks. Fast forward 8 weeks, I'm living rather uncomfortably with the old owners because I keep saying we're going to have the money, and it finally came through. The mortgage finally came through after 8 weeks, and it was such a relief to have that money and know the building was ours and it wasn't going to slip through our fingers. And sometimes you got to have balls that big. Sometimes you just got to roll the dice, because opportunities like this, to wake up and look at Arran and Butte and live on the Cow Peninsula and have seals swimming. I can see them on the lighthouse just in the distance. It's an insanely amazing thing to do. But I couldn't have done it without my mum, and that first stress of not knowing whether the mortgage was going to come through at the time, I didn't realise was going to be one of many things that I would learn about running my own business in Scotland, in a building that needed so much work. It was like buying a Ferrari for a tenner, but the service bill still being £10,000, you know. But it's good. It's really good. Anyway, I'm going to go for a run at one of my favourite places, Puck's Glen, which is what I named this hotel after 2.5 years ago, and then get back and carry on building. I feel like a little ant building a mountain, but we're getting some amazing reviews at the moment, and honestly they give you so much strength to wake up in the morning and just crack on with doing what we do here and just building. And some days it's the tiniest, most minuscule things, but other days they're massive things that get done. So yeah, we're doing all right. I'll see you soon.